Hey guys, how's it going tonight? I don't know if you're still here, sunshine and rain, but no, it's going to be London, not Ontario, London, England. Hey, Mama 3. Hey, cool gamer. So this picture I have up, I remember mentioning this story. I haven't read it yet. This is the two princes that were murdered by their uncle, King Henry, and they were. Hey, Teresa. They their bodies were found in the Tower of London behind a wall. It's scary what happened to them poor guys. Hey, Felny, Melanie. Hey, Estella. Oh, yay, Melanie, did you get a notification? Hope it's back to working. I actually look in this book and see if there is that one story because I really would like to read it. Oh, Tower of London. Yeah, there's a white lady. I know that one. That's a ghost. I'm just looking to see if there's anything about these princes. Oh, it is in here. Ooh. There's pictures of a ghost in here. You didn't get a notification? I'm so pissed off at YouTube right now. I've lost so many subs, it's not even funny. All right, I'm close to the Tower of London, so I will be able to read you the story about these princes. I feel like I'm gonna burp. I'm sorry. This is Coke Zero. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, so this next story is called, it's about a house named Charterhouse, and the title of this one is "A Haunted Gem of Hidden London." I don't know if you can see it. It's a very tiny house. It's so hard to go backwards. But yeah, that's the house there. The ancient wall of weathered stone that encircles the Charterhouse, London's only surviving Tudor townhouse, helps keep the contemporary world firmly at bay. Beyond the massive oak gates of the gatehouse, visitors find themselves in a veritable time capsule, the origins of which stretch back to 1371, when Norman nobleman Sir Walter de Manny endowed a monastery for the strict order of monks. Here the Holy Brethren offered prayers for the souls of those who died in the Black Death of 1348. What was the Black Death again? Was that tuberculosis? I'm probably wrong. Many of whom still lie buried in the great square outside the gates. The monastery flourished with the Reformation when its monks refused to accept Henry as head of the church in England. Their prior John Houghton was hanged, drawn, and quartered, and one of his arms was even nailed onto the monastery gates in an attempt to persuade the surviving monks of Henry's cause. They're sick back then, eh? The bubonic plague. Oh, thank you. Okay. Hey, Deb. But inspired by their leaders' bravery and ghostly nocturnal visits from long-dead members of their order urging them to remain true to their faith, the friars remained firm and refused to curtail to the king's demands. One dark, wintry night, as they prayed in the dimly lit chapel, there came a flash of heavenly flame, which caused every candle to flare up was a celestial brilliance. Encouraged in their battle with the state, the monks remained steadfast, even though 16 more of their number were executed before the monastery was finally dissolved. Charterhouse was then granted to Lord North, who turned it into a splendid private residence. He entered Elizabeth I here on the 2 occasions, but his hospitality was so lavish that he crippled himself financially and had to retire in the county. Thomas Howard, 4th Duke of Norfolk, then bought the house. He plans to marry Mary, Queen of Scots, resulted in his execution in 1572, and the house had several more owners before being purchased in 1611 by the immensely wealthy Sir Thomas Sutton. He converted the building into a hospital for aged men and a school for the sons of the poor. In time, the establishment became a distinguished public school, moving to new premises in Godalming, Surrey in 1867. Today, some 20 or so elderly men live amid the ancient courts and forgotten cloisters of this wonderful old mansion. When the surrounding streets fall silent at night, a shadowy monk is said to drift aimlessly about the cobblestone courtyards, parts of which survive from the days of the monastery. He shares his weary vigils with the headless specter of the Duke of Norfolk, which comes striding down the main staircase where he was arrested, with his head tucked nearly under his arm. I would crap! Yeah, I always forget too, Teresa, so I was like, which one was it? Hey, Jay. Hey, BeLive. This one is called Bonehill Fields, sorry. And it's called When the Dead Walked Again. The name of this ancient city burial ground, which is crammed with an electric mix of tombs and gravestones, is probably derived from Bone Hill. Since there is no proof that the ground here was ever consecrated, it was a favored burial place for nonconformists who were able to bury their dead without the use of the common prayer book. John Bunyan, Daniel Defoe, and William Blake are just a few of those whose graves are shaded by soaring plane trees. Here's the grave of John Bunyan. Yeah, I see that you changed your name. I said hi, Deb. I changed my name from my actual name. Yeah, it scares the hell out of me too. I would never use my real name. Actually, that's not true. I already doxed myself, so yeah, I'm good. The spiked gate at the graveyard's northeast corner was put up specifically to deter the nefarious activities of the body snatchers. Although no burials have taken place here since 1854, the Corporation of London still maintains the ground for public usage and employs several gardeners to ensure that this vast necropolis remains in pristine condition. In June 2001, several of the gardeners complained of experiencing a supernatural phenomenon. Things have gone a bit haywire in the last 10 months, one of them told the Highbury and Islington Gazette. Loads of weird stuff has started happening. Steam was rising from graves. Several gardeners spoke of encountering a cloaked woman who suddenly disappeared without any trace, while floods of water suddenly appear from nowhere, even on dry days. Meanwhile, the gardener's hut, which has long been considered a safe haven from whatever supernatural forces were loose in the fields, became mostly residents. Bill Underwood told how he had unlocked the door one morning and found all our posters and notices had mysteriously been taken down and arranged neatly on the floor in exactly the same order. Strange handprints had also appeared on the table, which certainly did not belong to any of the staff. Asked if he had any idea who or what was responsible for the activity, Bill could only shrug his shoulders and express bemusement. No, you're not losing your mind. Hey, Ren Grey Wolf. This one's called London Wall, and the story, well, it's about the London Wall, and the story is A Ghostly Arm. Yeah, you've been missing a lot. No worries, though. I lost a lot of subs, so it's not your fault. It's YouTube's fault. In April 1907, a letter appeared in the city press concerning the old section of the London Wall that now cowers beneath the gleaming white modernity of the Museum of London. A reader told how he had been passing the relic one Sunday night when he noticed a hand and an arm stretched out from the railings to bar my passage. He was so alarmed by this that he jumped into the road and, for a moment, turned his back to the railings. On summoning up the courage to look round, he saw a man in dark clothes, walking back to the wall. When he reached it, he seemed to walk right into it. The bemused witness recalled how he had heard no sound of footsteps, and told how he had returned the next morning to examine the spot but could find nothing that threw any light on the mystery of what or who it was that he had encountered. Here's another photo of the wall. I love paranormal stuff too. I just want to read this book. I'm fascinated by it. I don't know what it is. It's just, I love these stories from London. Lord Raglan, and this is about him, and it's called The Ghostly Roman. This lively 19th century hostelry stands close to part of the old city wall, which was originally constructed by the Romans to enclose Londinium. The cellars are built to much older foundations, and it is there that several of the staff in the early 1990s were frequently surprised by a ghostly Roman sentry whose indistinct figure would quiver in one of the corners. Aw, sad. Seemingly oblivious to their presence. After a few moments, the soldier would become even hazier and then simply fade into nothing. That's sad. You feel like crap? I'm sorry. Wood Street Computer. This one's entitled A Slice of Bygone London. Tucked away in Mitre Court, at the heart of the city of London, a dark canopy covering a dingy flight of uneven steps leads the intrepid wayfarer down into a dark, dingy cellar. This was once, so local tradition maintains, the common section of a debater's prison known as the Wood Street Computer. The prison was demolished in 1816, but the eerie cellar has survived. However, its condition is so poor that, thanks to the compensation culture that now blights so much of our everyday life, public access is forbidden until such time as we can learn to take responsibility for our own well-being once more. Until recently, the four vintners, off license, whose shop was in Mitre Court, leased the site, and they would often use the cellar for wine tasting evenings. One night in 1986, an assistant was tidying up after one such session when she was pushed from behind with such violent force that it caused her to drop the 3 bottles of wine that she was holding. Even today, with the off-license gone and the gates padlocked to prevent access, some people passing the cellar late at night claim to sense a presence, watching them from the gloomy darkness below. Some have even heard a low murmuring whisper that appears to emanate from behind the locked door at the bottom of the steps. Oh no, you have COVID? I'm sorry. Oof, it's rough. St. James Garlic, and this one's called Jimmy Garlic, the Ghostly Mummy. In 1855, workmen clearing out a vault in this particularly exquisite run church uncovered a casket that contained the mummified corpse of a man. Parishioners nicknamed him Jimmy Garlic, and having him encased in glass, placed him in the church's entrance porch along with a salutatory note that read, sounds to me already, I don't know, glass case and a mummified man, sounds like vampire or something. So here's a little note, and it said, "Stop, stranger, as you pass by. As you are now, so once was I. As I am now, so shall you be. So pray, prepare to follow me." Apparently, his specter has been known to wander downstairs from time to time, and this is the church he was found in. There was a time when impish choir boys would remove Jimmy on Sunday mornings. What? Okay, this is weird. There was a time when impish choir boys would remove Jimmy on Sunday mornings, sitting him in one of the pews with a ruff around his neck, all of which the corpse appears to have accepted with good humor. Then in the Second World War, a bomb dropped through the roof of the porch, and although it didn't explode, it landed uncomfortably close to the cabinet, shattering its glass. This appears to have stirred Jimmy's revenant to indignation, and his ghost has wandered the church ever since. I'm sorry you lost. Wow. Yeah, that's horrible. I just wish it was over, you know? Not long after the incident, a fire watcher spotted a dark figure walking along the aisle during an air raid. He shouted at the figure to take cover, whereupon it simply vanished. In the 1970s, an American tourist visited the church with her two sons, the elder of whom went off to explore alone. Climbing the stairs to the balcony, he came face to face with the skeletal figure, its hands crossed over its chest. The dumbfounded boy was rooted to the spot as the phantom stared at him, its eyes bulging from its bony sockets. Finally, the boy was able to cry out to his mother, whereupon the mysterious apparition melted away before his eyes. Jimmy's mortal remains are now kept away from public gaze in an upper room of the church tower. He is now thought to have been 16-year-old Seagrave Chamberlain, who died from a fever on 17th December 1765, and whose wall monument can be seen at the west end of the north aisle. Williamson's Tavern. This one's called the Dead Center of the City. Williamson's Tavern is a delightful, well-hidden hostelry that has more the feel of a gentleman's club than of a city centre pub. It stands at the exact center of the city of London, reputably on the site that was once occupied by the mansion of Sir John Oldcastle, the model for Shakespeare's Falstaff. Once the official residence of successive Lord Mayors of London, it was purchased in 1739 by one Robert Williamson, who turned it into a hotel. William Hollis, a surveyor who rebuilt it in the 1930s, quickly found that his dabbling had apparently disturbed a former resident. According to a contemporary account, queer noises were heard about the premises on Saturday nights. Furthermore, a ghostly figure was often seen gliding from the opposite side of Groveland Court and melting into the brickwork of the pub. Although the apparition never materialized inside the buildings, were often accompanied by an outbreak of poltergeist activity, during which tankards and ashtrays would be hurled to the floor by an unseen hand. The disturbances finally proved too much for Mr. Hollis to bear, and so, according to a report in the City Post, he decided to leave the ghost to its own devices, and the estate is now on the market. This is about the London Bridge, a tragedy from long ago. Old London Bridge used to stand a little further down the river from the current span. The churchyard of St. Magnus, the martyr, provided pedestrian access to it. And there's a long-held tradition that the reach of the Thames that flows past the church is haunted by ghostly cries. In 1290, Edward ordered the expulsion of all Jews from England. One group hired a ship to take them abroad, and it was arranged with the captain that they would set sail from just below London Bridge. However, their vessel was caught on an ebb tide and became beached upon the river sands. The captain suggested that they leave the ship to wait for the turn of the tide on a nearby sandbank. As the tide began to rise, the captain and crew raced back to the ship, leaving the hapless passengers to drown in the rising waters. Wow, that's disgusting. The exact spot where the callous event occurred is uncertain, but there is a strong Jewish tradition that it was beneath London Bridge. The ghostly screams of the victims are said to echo down the centuries, and according to one Anglo-Jewish writer, the spot where it happened is under the influence of ceaseless rage, and however calm and serene the river is elsewhere, the place is fiercely boisterous. That is sad. Bunch of cowards. St. Magnus the Martyr. The Kneeling Cleric, apparently this is called. The Church of St. Magnus the Martyr has a peaceful air about it. To the right of the altar, a plaque on the wall commemorates Miles Coverdale, who was rector of the church from 1563 to 1565. He is best remembered as the man who, as Bishop of Exeter, instigated the first English translation of the Bible. However, many who stand over the spot where his earthly remains lie interred claim to have been overcome by a sudden and intense feeling of grief and desolation. The feeling has sometimes been accompanied by the appearance, moments later, of a dark-haired priest in black cassock, seen stooping over the vault where Cloverdale lies entombed. This has led to the speculation that the ghost is that of Miles Coverdale himself. Oh my God, there's still, yeah, here's the London Bridge, a drawing of it. But it says above is this photo, it says, Old London Bridge was the site of the horrific tragedy, and the screams of the victims can still be heard today. I don't think I could ever go to that site. It's really sad. An electrician who once spent several days working in the church complained of a priest who kept watching him, and who had an annoying habit of being there one moment but then gone the next. A verger who would lock the church one Sunday night, and was tidying up, suddenly noticed a dark-haired priest standing a few feet away from him. He was about to ask how the man had managed to enter a locked building when the figure dropped to its knees and began searching for something on the floor. Stepping forward to offer assistance, the verger was surprised when the priest looked up at him, grinned, and promptly disappeared. I'm sorry for all your losses. It's so hard to lose someone. It really is. And same with pets. Oh, a few people have lost. One I know has lost a dog. Another one I know has lost a cat. It's so hard to even lose pets. Like they're our family, and same with family. Obviously, it's our family. It's hard. I just want this CVID stuff to go. So many deaths from it. It's disgusting. It's just wow. George and Vulture. So this is in the St. Michael's Court in Cornhill, and this one's titled The Victorian Lady. It is hard to lose both. Like, the reason why I brought it up is because there's been a lot of, like I said, people losing their pets lately. I don't know what I'd do if I lost one of mine. No, I know what I would do. I would lose my mind probably. Oh no. Yeah, see that right there, Wolf? That would be so devastating. I almost want to say maybe your dog died because of a broken heart. Would that make sense? That's horrible. The George and Vulture was established in 1600 and was the place where Sir Francis Dashwood founded his notoriously nefarious Hellfire Club. Charles Dickens was a regular visitor in the 19th century and used it as Mr. Pickwick's London base in the Pickwick Papers. Wow, I said it without screwing that one up. Its walls are adorned with images of both Dickens and his characters, and its upstairs rooms are occasionally visited by a Victorian lady in a grey dress who floats silently about before astonished witnesses until, after a few moments of restless roaming, she melts slowly into thin air. Yeah, I couldn't handle that. I see enough out of the corners of my eyes all the time, but to actually witness it right there, no. I just say, Mama took my baby girl to heaven with her. I'll see her again. That's sweet. It's sad, but sweet. This one's called Bank Underground, and it says, The Stench from Beyond the Grave. Bank Underground sits at the historic hub of the City of London and is surrounded by such vulnerable institutions as the Bank of England, the Royal Exchange, and the Mansion House, which is the home of Lord Mayor throughout his year in office. In addition to its being an extremely busy station, it's also haunted. So here's the Bank of London. It says, should a lady in black ask if you have seen her brother as you pass the Bank of England? Do not worry, it is only the ghost of Sarah Whitehead. And here's the bank where they say that she's able to be spotted, and she asks you where her brother is. Can you imagine? And a full-blown ghost asking you, do you know where my brother is? And then coming to find out that it's a ghost? That's the thing, though. Like, every time I've seen a ghost, they look normal. They look human. So it makes, it's like, what the hell are you doing in my house? And then they're gone. Doors are locked. You don't hear them leave. It's like, okay, shit, I just saw another one. Oh, did you get 5 more? Those dogs are amazing. Oh my, I'm sorry, Melanie. Yeah, see what I mean? A lot of people have lost their animals lately. It is the maintenance workers who invariably task it is to attempt to keep the central line running that have most often experienced supernatural activity here in the early hours of some mornings. They report having been overcome by a foul stench, like the smell of an open grave, is how one employee described it. In its wake, there comes a dreadful feeling of foreboding and melancholy. It may be connected with the fact that the next station along the line, Liverpool Street, is believed to have been built on the site of a 17th century plague pit. Ew. Well, that would be for the smell, I guess, right? It is it possible that something from all of the decomposing bodies that were buried together has impregnated the soil hereabouts? And when conditions are right, the some form of, I don't know how to say that word, miasma, steep down into the tunnel and drift towards Bank Station, afflicting the nostrils and the sensibilities of London underground maintenance workers. Okay, I don't know. That's crazy. So that's the one with the woman that asked for a brother, and it smells like death. You're gonna have nightmares. These stories are really, they're bad. I mean, a lot of them are horrible to read. Another one about the Bank of England, and this one is called the Bank Nun. On 2nd November 1811, Philip Whitehead, a man of genteel appearance who had been employed in the cashier's office at the Bank of England, was brought to the dock of the Old Bailey charged with forgery. Found guilty, he was sentenced to death and was saying, you can't do that. I don't know why I'm laughing. That's horrible. So if I forged a check, they're going to kill me? Holy, like, no second chance in London here. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah, he was sentenced to death and was duly hanged in early 1812. Of his crime and execution was kept from his devoted sister Sarah Whitehead, who was removed by Philip's friends to a house in Wine Office Court off Fleet Street. That's horrible. Now you let the sister know? Exactly, right? Melanie, we should. That'll get something done. Shit. Forgery gets you hung. Can you imagine with all the stuff that she does? Wow. One day, Sarah turned up at the Bank of England to inquire of her brother's whereabouts, and an unthinking clerk promptly blurted out the story of Philip's crime and ignominious death. The shock of the discovery turned the poor woman's mind, and thereafter she took to turning up at the bank every day and asking after her brother in the belief that he still worked there. That is horrible. Can you imagine you don't even know that your brother's done something so horrible that they're going to take his life, and then yeah, I think I'd lose my mind too and show up. Where's my brother? That's why she's asking for him. She became known as the Bank Nun on account of her peculiar attire, which consisted of a long black dress and a black cape, veil worn over her face and head. The city merchants took pity on her and never let her pass without extending their assistance, while the directors and clerks of the Bank of England saw to it that she was frequently provided with sums of money in compliment of her misfortune. However, Sarah became convinced that the bank's governors were keeping an immense fortune from her, and this led to her hurling insults at them during business hours. On the occasion, Baron Rothschild, was going about his business at the stock exchange when she suddenly appeared and called him a villain and a robber, telling him that he had defrauded her of her fortune and demanding $2,000 he owed her. He responded by taking half a crown from his waistcoat pocket, handing it to her, and telling her as he did so, "There then, take that and don't bother me now. I'll give you the other half tomorrow." Accepting the money, she thanked him and went away. By 1818, the bank governors had grown tired of her daily disturbances and so gave her a sum of money on condition she agreed never to return to the bank again. Well, I'm going to go bug a bank and see if they give me money. That would be like that. Wow, they got their morals wrong here. You're going to hang someone for forgery, right? But then you're just going to keep giving out free money to this woman. Like, in life, she kept that contract, but in death, her wrath has been broken many times. More than one late night wanderer, wending their weary way home along Threadneedle Street, had been surprised by her ghostly figure appearing more before them and, with downcast eyes, inquiring sadly through though politely, "Have you seen my brother?" Ooh, Mitre Square. That sounds familiar. Now I know why. Jack the Ripper. Yeah, spooky tales from London. So this is at Mitre Square, and it's called Poignant Wraith. Today, Mitre Square is surrounded on three sides by modern office blocks and bordered on its south side by the Sir John Cass Foundation School. Nothing remains of the original Victorian Square, save its cobblestones, across which people hurry their way to and from work. Many not even realizing that they are walking over the spot where one of the London's most infamous crimes occurred. For it was in the southwest corner of Mitre Square that the horribly mutilated body of Catherine Eddowes was discovered at 1:45 a.m. on 30th September 1888. The fourth victim of the murderer history remembers simply as Jack the Ripper. Local tradition maintains that on the anniversary of the killing, people have occasionally glimpsed Catherine's spectral figure lying upon the spot where her life came to such a tragic and gruesome end. Wow, I wouldn't doubt it, what those women went through. Above here is a drawing of Mitre Square in September 1888 when Catherine Eddowes, Jack the Ripper's fourth victim, was murdered. So here's the drawing. This is a sad one. Where's it after this one? No, this is a long one. This is the Tower of London. England's most haunted building, it's called. Well, I would have to say yes. Yes, it is. Grim, grey, and awe-inspiring, the Tower of London has dominated the London landscape and the pages of its history since its construction by William the Conqueror in 1078. Today, it is perhaps the most haunted building in England. The Wakefield Tower is haunted by the most tragic of English monarchs, the pious King Henry, whose weak and ineffectual reign ended here with his murder as he knelt at prayer in the hour before midnight on 21st May 1471. Tradition asserts that the knife with which he was sticked, full of deadly holes, was welded by the Duke of Gloucester. Later, the infamous Richard III. On the anniversary of his murder, Henry's mournful wraith is said to appear as the clock ticks towards midnight, pacing fitfully around the interior of the Wakefield Tower until, upon the last stroke of midnight, he fades slowly into the stone and rests peaceably for another year. That's creepy. The massive white tower is the oldest and most forbidding of all the Tower of London's buildings, and its winding stone corridors are the eerie haunt of a white lady who once stood at a window waving to a group of children in the building opposite. It may well be her cheap perfume. that has caused many a guard to retch upon inhaling its pungent aroma, and which impregnates the air around the entrance to St. John's. What's with this guy and impregnating stuff? It just doesn't seem right. We're talking about this shitty perfume and pungent aroma, and it impregnates the air around the entrance. What the fuck? I don't know if I'd use impregnated, but okay. In the gallery were Henry's impressive and exaggerated. Freaking cat hair or something on my phone. In the gallery where Henry's impressive and exaggerated suit of armor is exhibited, several guards have spoken of a terrible crushing sensation that suddenly descends upon them as they enter the room, but which lifts the moment they stagger, shaking from it. A guard patrolling through the chamber one stormy night got the sudden and unnerving sensation that someone had thrown a heavy cloak over him. As he struggled to free himself, the garment was seized from behind and pulled tight around his throat by his phantom attacker. Sounds like that woman's coat that strangled her, because that's how she died in life. Oh my god. I know, yeah, it's getting very expensive. I got 3 cats and a dog. I'm broke, but they're not going to no pound. Hell no, they're staying with me. They're my family. If anything, I'll buy, well, I do have a lot of rice. I'll feed them rice and burger or something. Make my own meals for them. Probably healthier to do that anyways. Managing to break free from its sinister grasp, he rushed back to the guard room where the marks on his neck bore vivid testimony to his brush with the unseen assailant. A memorial on Tower Green remembers all those unfortunate souls who have been executed over the centuries. Anne Boleyn, Lady Jane, are both said to return to the Vicinity, while the ghost of Margaret Pole, Countess of Salisbury, returns to the site in a dramatic and alarming fashion. At the age of 72, she became an unwitting and undeserving target for Henry's petty vengeance. Her son, Cardinal Pole, had vilified the king's claim as head of the church in England, but he was safely ensconced in France, and so Henry had his mother brought to the block on 27th May 1541. When told by the executioner to kneel, the spirited old lady refused. "So should traitors do, and I am none," she sneered. The executioner raised his axe, took a swing at her, and then chased the screaming countess around the scaffold, where he literally hacked her to death. Holy shit. The shameful spectacle has been repeated several times on the anniversary of her death, as her screaming phantom continues to be chased throughout eternity by a ghostly executioner. Holy, that's horrible. The Bloody Tower, the very name of which conjures up all manner of gruesome images, is home to the most poignant shades that drift through this dreadful fortress. When Edward died suddenly in April 1483, his 12-year-old son was destined to succeed him as Edward V. However, before the boy's coronation could take place, both he and his younger brother Richard were declared illegitimate by Parliament, and their uncle, the Duke of Gloucester, ascended the throne as Richard III. The boys, meanwhile, have been sent to the Tower of London in preparation for Edward's coronation, and were both often seen playing happily around the grounds. But then, in about June 1483, they mysteriously vanished, and they were never seen alive again. It was always assumed that they had been murdered on Richard's instructions, and their bodies buried somewhere within the grounds of the tower. And it wasn't Henry, it was Richard. My bad, I apologize. Oh, thank you. When two skeletons were uncovered beneath a staircase of the White Tower in 1674, they were presumed to be the remains of the two little princes and afford royal burial in Westminster Abbey. The whimpering race of the two children, dressed in white nightgowns and clutching each other in terror, have frequently been seen in the dimly lit rooms of their imprisonment. Witnesses are moved to pity and long to reach out and console the pathetic specters, but should they do so, the trembling remnants back slowly against the wall and fade into the fabric. That is so sad. And there's them there. Returning to the White Tower and the fearless custody guards who wandered its interior in the dead of night, there was the eerie occasion when Mr. Arthur Crick decided to rest as he made his rounds. Sitting on a ledge, he slipped off his right shoe and was in the process of massaging his foot when a voice behind him whispered, "There's only you and I here." This elicited from Arthur the very earthly response, "Just let me get this bloody shoe on, and there'll only be you." Good night, Deb. And there's the bodies of the two princes, not princesses. It's a drawing. And then this is supposed to be, what is this? The Tower of London. Sorry, it's so hard for me to do this. There. All Hallows Barking by the Tower. This is entitled The Lady in Black. Ooh, we caught a ghostie on this one. Sweet. The mark of history is certainly upon the ancient church of All Hallows by the Tower. Though its doors have stepped such... What was that? What was that?
That scared the living
Me
crap.
too. What is it?
It's an Amber Alert. Ontario. Oh. Here, can I read it?
Yeah.
You don't know if you're elected, Mike.
It's okay.
Ontario Amber Alert. Victims Elka Coy, F, 2-year-old. Suspects Logan Coy, M, 41-year-old. Last seen Toronto. If seen, call. Last seen Toronto. If seen, call 911. And then a website thing. And then the rest is in French.
Can you see it for a second? Oh.
Sorry.
All right, thanks.
I don't know what happened, basically.
Well, it sounds like a family member has taken them.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I just want to make sure you shut your door. Unless you want to hear these spooky stories. The mark of history is certainly upon the ancient church of All Hallows by the Tower, though its doors have stepped such illustrations personalities as Bishop Lancelot Andrews and William Penn, who were christened here in 1555 and 1644, respectively. The infamous Judge Jeffreys was married at the church in 1667, as was John Quincy Adams, later 6th President of the United States in 1797. After the Great Fire of London, Samuel Pepys climbed to the top of its tower and, gazing down upon the smoldering remnants of the city below, declared it the saddest sight of desolation. At about 6 p.m. a few days before Christmas 1920, a choir master and 2 choir boys had gone into the church to rehearse. They had been singing for around 20 minutes when they noticed an old lady standing a few feet away from them. So real did it appear that one of the boys walked over and placed a chair for her to sit on. The woman nodded her thanks and sat down. She was dressed, so the choir master later recalled, in old-fashioned clothing. Her hair was gray and her face had a sallow feature. But what struck him most about her was the intense look in her eyes. They seemed to burn with a strange radiance and were fixed on my face as if eagerly searching for something, or as if fascinated by our music. The strange visitor mystified the choir master. He had certainly locked the door when he had entered, so how could she have gotten inside? Also, how had she managed to approach their rehearsal room without any sound? He had heard no footsteps on the stone floor, and furthermore, the heavy, creaking double doors that led from the main body of the church had been silent since he and the choristers had passed through them. Then, just as the practice concluded, the mysterious visitor vanished suddenly without a trace. No sooner had she done so than a strange scratching noise sounded from a corner of the room, as if a cat was in the building and was trying to get out. Suddenly, one of the boys cried out in alarm, "There it is, sir. I saw a cat rush out of the room and go down towards the south aisle." They searched the church but could find no trace whatsoever of either the woman or the cat. Furthermore, when they went to leave the building, the door was still locked. 5 years later, the choir master was standing in the church one Sunday morning, when an old man approached him and told him that he believed he knew the identity of the old woman. He explained how around 60 years previously, he had been a choir boy at the church, and that a somewhat eccentric lady, an organist, had led the choir in those days. She was passionately fond of cats. The old man told the choir master and continued, Cats used to follow her about, feeding them regularly. Cats used to follow her about. Even in the streets, she used to give me pocket money for feeding them regularly. She was quite gone on carols and used to take us boys through the city lanes, singing them as well as in church. You have a bunch of emails. All right, good night. Is it possible that the former choir mistress's love of carols continued beyond the grave, and that it was her ghost that had appeared in the church on the December night? Certainly the description given by the old gentleman of her style of dress corresponded exactly with clothing worn by the apparition in the rehearsal room. Furthermore, reports of her appearances continued throughout the 1920s and the 1930s. Sadly or happily, depending on how you view these things, she seems to have found lasting rest in recent years, for many decades have passed without any reports of the ghostly lady at All Hallows Church. Aldgate Underground Station, this one's titled The Real Live Wire. Aldgate Station is situated at a convergence of rail lines to the east of the city. In the 1950s, an electrician was carrying out essential maintenance on the rail tracks when a station manager happened to glance toward him and was surprised to see a gray-haired old lady stroking the man's head. Moments later, a mistake in the control room sent 22,000 volts surging down the track, and although the electrician was thrown backwards and knocked unconscious, he survived the surge of current through his body and suffered no lasting ill effects. Ever afterwards, he remained grateful to the mysterious gray-haired guardian angel whom he was convinced had saved his life. Aldgate Station certainly has a decidedly spooky air about it over the years, and ghostly activity has occurred here. Most persistent is the ghostly sound of footsteps echoing across the sleepers late at night. They are often accompanied by cheerful whistling, as though some contented railman from days gone by is carrying out a ghostly track inspection. He would have been dead. 22,000 volts surging down the track. Wow. St. Botolph's Church, and this is called The Ghost in the Photograph. In 1982, photographer Chris Brackley took a picture inside this historic old church. The only people present were himself and his wife. When the photograph was developed, he was astonished to note that a woman in old-fashioned garb was standing on the balcony to the right of the altar. The negative was subjected to considerable expert analysis, which revealed that there was no double exposure in the film, and it was also proved that none of Chris's equipment was faulty. The only explanation for the mysterious figure was that someone must have actually been standing on the balcony when the picture was taken. A few years later, Chris was contacted by a builder who had been employed on the restoration work in St. Botolph's crypt. He explained that he had inadvertently disturbed a pile of old coffins when knocking down a wall. Ooh, that's never good. One had come open to reveal a reasonably well-preserved body, the face of which bore an uncanny resemblance to the figure that had made an uninvited appearance in Chris's photograph. Here it is. Hopefully you can see it. She's right here. That's creepy. Cleopatra's Needle, a mysterious encounter on a foggy night. Originally erected outside the Temple of the Sun at Heliopolis by Pharaoh Thotmes III in 1450, this mysterious obelisk was moved to Alexandria, hence its association with the legendary Egyptian queen. It was brought to London in 1878 and has stood proudly on the banks of the river ever since. It seems to hold a particular attraction to those of the disponent nature, for it's acknowledged that more suicides occur on the reach of the Thames that flows past it on any other part of the river. People passing the column at night have occasionally been startled by the sound of a low moaning that they hear emanating from within the dark granite. Others have spoken their alarm when a shadowy naked figure sprints across the riverside terrace and throws itself over the wall towards the river, but no splash is ever heard. Those who go to investigate never see anyone floundering in the water, nor is any body discovered. But one of the most mysterious events to have occurred in the vicinity of this most enigmatic of monuments took place in the 1940s, when a hysterical young woman suddenly approached a policeman crossing over nearby Waterloo Bridge one foggy night. She told him that someone was about to jump into the Thames and begged him to follow her in order to prevent the tragedy. The constable followed her through the dense fogs and arrived at Cleopatra's Needle, just in time to prevent a young woman from throwing herself in the murky waters of the racing river. As she pulled the suicide back from the brink, he was astonished to find himself face to face with the young woman who had just alerted him on the Waterloo Bridge. Turning to where she had been standing a few seconds earlier, he could find no trace of her whatsoever. What? It says here, more suicides take place around Cleopatra's Needle than on any other stretch of the River Thames. Could it have anything to do with the low moan that passers-by have reported in the late evening? I don't know about that. I just know it scared the hell out of me. The Adelphi Arches. Poor Jenny's eternal death throes. The delightfully gloomy Lower Robert Street descends into one of the only surviving 18th century arches, built to support the buildings of the Adelphi, a prestigious housing development by the Adams brothers. By the 19th century, according to one account, the most abandoned characters often passed the night here, nestling upon foul straw, and many a street thief escaped from his pursuers in these dismal haunts. In David Copperfield, Charles Dixon has the protagonist recall, I was fond of wandering about the Adelphi because it was a mysterious place with those dark arches. The ambience of this subterranean vault is still sufficient to elicit old shivers, and it comes to a little surprise to find that this old place of silent shadow is haunted. One of the desperate characters to whom the arches were home was poor Jenny, a Victorian prostitute who was strangled by one of her clients on the grim bundle of filthy rags that she used as her bed. Today, Jenny's terrifying, pain-racked screams, followed by a rhythmic drumming as her feet repeat her death tattoo upon the stones, occasionally echo through the dingy vault, shattering the stillness and chilling the marrow of those who happen to be in the vicinity. Wow. This one's called Davenport's Magic, As If From Nowhere. Davenport's is the oldest family magic business in the world, and from the moment the dull thud of a loud bell announces your arrival, you get the sensation of having entered a truly hidden gem of secret London. A veritable cornucopia of all things, magical and mysterious, confronts you, ferocious-looking armed choppers, complete with plastic severed limbs, glimmer behind glass display cases. There is an ESP and tarot cards, and all the manner of disappearing, appearing, perturbing, and bemusing apparatus for initiation into the secretive world of magicians and psychics. The shop is haunted by what staff maintain is a male presence. Several of the assistants who enthusiastically demonstrate their dexterous skills at sleight of hand before eye-wide visitors have caught glimpses of someone walking to the side of the counter towards the stockroom. However, whenever they go to investigate, there's never anyone there. At other times, there have been moved around. At other times, items have moved around the storeroom, which can prove a little annoying for staff trying to dispatch the urgent order. This later activity, though, is easily dealt with by the ruse of simply asking the ghost to desist and return whatever object that it has disappeared. Can I have my thing back, please? Can I have my hat back? You know, the one with the rabbit that jumps out? Please and thank you. 12 Buckingham Street, and this is called Mr. Pepys is still at home. The handsome house, now home to Regiment Language School, was the home of the celebrated Darius Samuel Pepys between 1679 and 1688. Several people have reported witnessing his ghost here and described it as a grayish figure with a smiling, kindly face. He has been seen strolling briskly down the main staircase or even looking down onto the passers-by in the street below. In the early 1950s, Gwyneth Bickford, who worked in the offices that occupied the property at the time, was running down the staircase at about 7 p.m. one evening when they suddenly noticed a man dressed in the costume of the 17th century standing against the wall. He was not a bit transparent, she later recalled. He was smiling, and his lips were with his eyes, as if he was tremendously pleased to see me. His outline was slightly blurred, and his whole appearance gray. We just stood there looking at each other for what I suppose was a couple of seconds, and then he was gone. "14 Buckingham Street. The Buxom Phantom. Number 14 Buckingham Street was once the home and studio of William Eddy, an artist who was famed for his sensuous Victorian nudes. The happy buxom girl ghost that haunts that property and which appears in the hallway from time to time is thought to be the specter of one of his models." Hey, Brenda. Thank you, peeps. They couldn't. That's why, because a lot of this stuff, some of it will tell me that it was pronounced this way, like boneyard. They spelt it bin yard, like BIN, and then they told me what it said. So yeah, thanks for. I figured that something was up with that. Answer, thank you. He wrote a diary and buried his prized cheese wheels in his garden during the Great Fire of 1666. I don't know. I just find these so interesting. So this would be Peeps. Not Pepe, Peeps. Oh, come on, get in there. Smiling man, I guess. National Liberal Club. This one's called Knock Knock. With its dark, eye-catching turrets, the National Liberal Club is a local landmark that frequently draws the attention of those who pass it on the Victoria Embankment. During the 1890s, the room occupied by the club's secretary and the family were subjected to an alarming bout of poltergeist activity that included mysterious knocking noises which seemed to emanate from deep within the walls. The family duly carried out an intensive investigation and, by a process of careful elimination, discovered that the phenomenon only seemed to occur when a certain German servant girl was present. Although convinced that the girl was in no way consciously responsible for the activity, the secretary sacked the unfortunate servant, and therefore the activity ceased. Okay, I don't know. That's right. Okay, sure. Martha Ray, the politician's friend. The dark brick Admiralty building was built in the 1720s by Thomas Ripley and was later extended to become Admiralty House, home of the First Lord. In the latter hall of the 18th century, the office was held by the 4th Earl of Sandwich. What? The fourth Earl of Sandwich, okay, who brought his mistress, Martha Ray, to live here with him. Having borne him several children, Martha embarked upon an affair with a penniless army lieutenant called James Hackman. Although the two fell deeply in love, Hackman lacked the means to support Martha, and when she refused to leave the Earl, her heartbroken lover left the army and became an equally impecunious clergyman. Then one night in April 1779, Hackman spotted Miss Ray passing along Whitehall en route to a performance of Love in a Village at the Covent Garden Theatre. Insane with jealousy, he rushed home and fetched a pair of pistols with which he later claimed he intended to shoot himself before the eyes of his mistress. Instead, he shot Martha dead as she emerged from the theatre. The crime was witnessed by virtually the entire audience of the play, so there was little doubt as to his guilt. However, the passion of the crime, together the romance of the story, thrilled polite society. The Earl of Sandwich, in a gesture of moving forgiveness, provided Hackman with financial assistance during his imprisonment and trial. Really? Found guilty, Hackman was sentenced to death and subsequently executed. Martha Ray has haunted Admiralty House ever since her murder and was seen in the early 20th century by both Winston Churchill and Harold Macmillan. In June 1969, several newspapers reported that Dennis Healy, who, as the Secretary for Defense, was then occupying quarters in the building, and his family were being visited by her restless wrath. Healy was reported to have seen her ghost on several occasions, and even went as far as to tell reporters that his children, far from being frightened by her, were actually very fond of the lady and had come to accept her as part of the family. Wow. The Earl Sandwich invented the sandwich. Okay. A slice of meat between two slices of bread, and he didn't want to waste time having a proper dinner while playing cards. The Earl of Sandwich. That's good to know. Uh, 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister's haunted abode. In 1732, George II gave 10 Downing Street to his Prime Minister, First Lord of the Treasury, Sir Robert Walpole. Since then, the house has been considerably extended and altered and has been both home and office to successive British prime ministers. Several ghosts are known to haunt the building. One man is in Regency-style clothing, who makes fleeting appearances both inside and outside the house. Nobody knows who he is, although there is a suggestion that he might be a former prime minister. During extensive alterations made to the building during the late 1950s and early 1960s, workmen are said to have encountered the ghost several times. On one occasion, his shimmering shade was even seen in the garden where it moved towards the wall that backs onto Horse Guards Parade and Spirit. A lady in a long dress and wearing a magnificent set of pearls haunts the pillared drawing room, which is used today by official functions and the singing of international agreements. Several messengers, as well as people working in the neighboring offices, have reported both seeing and hearing her phantom. Meanwhile, policemen on guard duty have heard ghostly footsteps plodding their way around the building, although they can never find anyone in the vicinity when they go to investigate. Hi, Benny. The basement of 10 Downing Street is the spectral realm of a little girl who has been known to hold the hands of those walking along its corridors. It is also where several employees have reported smelling the overpoweringly strong odor of cigar smoke wafting around the rooms. Some wonder if the ghost of Winston Churchill might still be hanging around and enjoying the odd cigar from time to time. Finally, there is the smartly dressed spectre in a top hat who has been seen striding determinedly across the entrance lobby and has been known to make a decidedly unconventional exit straight through the closed front door. Westminster Bridge, and this was titled The Ghostly Leap of Jack the Ripper. Huh? I haven't heard this one yet. If you stand on Westminster Bridge on 31st December and look eastwards as midnight approaches, you may well be rewarded with a sighting of the ghost of one of London's most enigmatic criminals, for there is a local tradition that, as the first chimes of Big Ben usher in the new year, a shadowy figure will suddenly materialize on the parapet and leap headlong into the murky waters of the River Thames below. Legend maintains that this is the hour when Jack the Ripper killed himself by plunging into the river from his spot in 1888, and that every year since, the Wraith has been condemned to repeat his descent into infamy over and over again. Should a festive visit be out of the question, a spectral barge has been known to drift towards the bridge on misty autumn mornings, pass beneath it, and vanish before reaching the other side. Huh. I never heard of that one. I think I'm going to stop reading for now. I'm almost done the book. Oh, what is that? You can't blame me for your nightmares. It is creepy, right? So I need another book for Thursday's book club. As I was thinking, Thursday. You just finished supper? Yeah, I was just thinking that we need one. I like doing true crime and ghosts and all that other stuff. Like, I'm going to keep reading this book until it's done. I really enjoy it. But if we were going to go with the, I don't know, London vibe, I was thinking... This is a huge book, though. Like, really big. But this one. And maybe read H.H. Holmes after. Or go in a totally different direction, and I can pick something on Canada. Or another thing. Or another country or whatever. What books do you have? I have a lot. Mostly true crime. I have pretty much every single book that Anne Rule's ever written. Got a small library. I love to read. I still haven't read this one. I read some of it and then I stopped. There's everything in this book. There's letters. There's actual crime scene photos and drawings. Oh, it was Jack the Ripper. Sorry. It's written by, well, it says it's written by Stuart P. Evans. He's a retired police officer and a curator of the Suffolk Police Museum. T. Skinner is a historical researcher and expert on Jack the Ripper. It's like an encyclopedia. It's huge. Oh, thank you. I don't know. I have that one. I've got, well, I don't know, because I've always thought that H.H. Holmes and Jack the Ripper are very similar and quite possibly might even have been the same person. I've always wondered that. This book is going to take forever to go through, though. Like, it's thick. It's a big one. I don't have many people here, so I don't know. Maybe I should make a community post. You've wondered that too? They're so similar. I don't know. That's why I was thinking, read this book. This is everything we ever need to know. It's literally says in an illustrated encyclopedia of Jack the Ripper, right? It's the ultimate Jack the Ripper companion. It's got everything. Yeah, maybe make a poll. And then I'll get the book on H.H. Holmes. I just need to kind of research which one's the best one to get. And then we can just kind of compare the two. Read one, then read the other, and then, I don't know, do a whole live on it or something, and I'll have like a discussion. You're down? So that's my picks, is this and H.H. Holmes. So Jack the Ripper and H.H. Holmes. But you guys need to pick something too. I've got, I don't know if anybody's into true crime. I've got everything. Anne Rule. I have a lot. I should really write down what I have. I have the one on Diane Downs. I haven't read that in a long time. The one with Susan Smith and the children and her children, what she did to them. I don't know. If you think of anything, let me know, because I probably have it. If not, I'll get it. I was trying to look for somebody had mentioned. Shit. I had it written down. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. You like H.H. Holmes? She's a Trip. What's the other one? I have it written down here somewhere. The hell? I have some weird shit written down here. Okay. Sure, it made sense at the time. That's it. Under the Trestle. That was one book I was supposed to. I couldn't find it on Amazon though. Oh, I read the book. It was disgusting. That, like, I was discussing with another friend of mine who's also Canadian, and I'm like, I want to do that, but if I don't think I can read that book. I just don't think I could do it again. It's really bad. I've got both of them for both books for Casey Anthony. I got the first book that came out, and then I got the book that the prosecutor put out. I've got the book where the prosecutor actually adopted Diane Downs' kids. So I've got that one. I've got quite a bit. Yeah, that Ken it's really bad. Like, really, really bad, the book. Her side, yeah. I bet. I wonder when that's going to come out. Like, on a show? Oh. Enjoy. No, it does make sense. Yeah. Enjoyable read. Just the fact that Karla Homolka, she got off scot-free, and she's the one that killed her sister. What she did to her sister. And those 14-year-old girls and 12, no, that's just stuff I can't. That's like this book I'm reading right now, Tears of Rage, about Adam Walsh. These disgusting letters that, oh my God, Ottis O'Toole wrote to John Walsh to read them. I couldn't finish. I couldn't read them the other day. No way. It was so horrible. She's got children though. Yeah, Karla's got them. And she's working in Quebec, Montreal. She's working around children. Karla Homolka. Yeah, who has children? Does Casey have children? I don't even know. Carla, yeah. I knew that Carla did. And then Paul Bernardo, he's in. You don't know the Carla story? Oh my God. There's a movie called Carla. What's her face? Donna off that 70s show plays Carla. That's not as bad as the book. Yeah, it's very emotional. My mom actually met Paul Bernardo. She was a manager at, oh, what the hell was it called? Country Style, that's what it was. Have I been to Vancouver? No, I would love to go. It is beautiful. I've seen many, many pictures. My son travels more than I do. I keep feeling like there's something behind me. Freaking me out. Bernardo, Paul Bernardo. That's his name. Yeah, they named them the Ken and Barbie Killers. Carla Homolka. I'll write in chat. And her first name starts with a K. She changed her name, eh? That's her name. That's what it was, anyways. And then he's in the Kingston pen, and that's like 45 minutes away from me. Actually, I have to go to the hospital, which is across the street from that. I want to go over and spit in his face, but I'm not going to. We need the death penalty. I'm still so pissed that Carla got off because they didn't need her testimony. They found the fucking tapes of what she did and what he did. They found the tapes of what they did to those little girls. They didn't need her damn testimony. She should be in prison right now. Oh, you're welcome. No, I haven't been watching her. She was yeah, I knew that much. No, I haven't watched her. I don't watch her. I went in there a couple times just to see what was going on. She has a lot of viewers, and I believe that woman needs some help mentally. I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like she likes to drink. I think she needs help, and I think people need to just stop going over there to fuck with her because it's clearly you know what I mean? I'm thinking this is pretty blatantly clear that she needs some help. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a train wreck. Like I would say she needs to log off and get mental health. I agree. And the more people keep pushing her and pushing her and pushing her, like it freaks me out. Like she's already had a gun on one of her lives. She's flashing people. She needs help. No, I don't comment either. Like I'll look every now and then just to see what's going on. It just amazes me all the people in there bullying her, and like she's not, stuff that she says and does is not right at all. The people going in there and, egging her on isn't. Yes, it's just like the Moors murders, yes. Only the Moors murders, they had more victims and they were younger. The Moors were younger. That's what I'm trying to get to, that part. Like she shouldn't be online at all. I think that she needs to go talk to someone. She's going to be Unirock's next target. She's mentally unwell. You can clearly see that. And she likes to drink, right? And for fraud raising. He needs to fuck off with those fraud raisers because, there's what was it? Somebody owes his Patreons and all that money. One of his friends or him himself, and nobody's seen the money. Where the hell did I see that? That was in one of EKC's video. That was AKC's live today. Somebody had mentioned that in the comments. And I'm going, what? He needs to piss off. Leave her alone. I do not like what she's doing. I don't like what she says. I don't like what she does at all. I just believe that people need to just step away. I mean, there is some people in there, I think, that are really trying to help her and they're genuine, but that's very far and few between. I know, me too. He needs to log off. He's begging for clips and info. Oh my God. No, he, out of all people, no, he does not need to be involved. Like, we're talking about a piece of shit here, Uni, who's taking Jared's side over the victims. Adventures with Purpose? Yeah. I saw his video. Made me sick to my stomach. You do think she's running a few fraud raisers? I just think she needs some help. I really do. She drinks a lot, eh? I didn't watch his whole video. No, I did not, Estella. I watched through EKC. Ugh, yeah, these stupid porn bots. Did you see the whole video? I never did. I just saw what EKC showed, and I watched her video. You got the bot? Thank you. He drives you nuts, eh? Yeah, he took Jared's side. You watched through EKC too, and Renell. I was just surprised by the idea you sat through a whole uni live and you're okay. No. I watched through other people. I won't give him a review. So yeah, I didn't even watch Renell's yet, but I did watch EKC's. Yeah. Yeah, she is too much. And that's my fear. She's going to be, that Michelle's going to be pushed to her limit. And that's my fear. She's not all there right now. She needs help. You want to know my opinions of Backwoods Barbie? I don't really have any because I've never spoke to her. I don't have anything to say, honestly. I don't watch her. I used to. I haven't watched her in a long time, though. Like a year, maybe longer. Yeah, that is insane, right? Yeah, he took a side. I did reach out to Backwoods Barbie through Instagram. I think I'm at 8 weeks now, maybe 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Exactly. Uni says he takes the victim's side, but yet he's sure to throw shade at the victim and tell her no one will believe her. She tried to reach out, but said she didn't get it. I must be on, where is Instagram? Yeah, it was like 12 weeks ago. I can send another one. So let me check. I hate this computer. Shit. Maybe I should check my messages more often. Oops. Oh, where is she? Yeah, it was 12 weeks. want to share my screen. I just don't want to show everybody's name. Can I just open up in a new tab or something? Yeah, I sent it August 12th at 4:46 p.m. 12 weeks ago on Instagram. Yeah, it's kind of yeah. It is sad. It really is, Estella. He's involved with Roadhog. Oh. Yeah, that's why I don't want to, I don't want any negative things on my channel. The only negative thing is the videos I put out about KJ. I'm not going to go live about her anymore. It's just too much. You believe Marissa was telling the truth, and it's a bad idea backing Roadhog against another target. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Unless I'm friends with that creator and I really feel that they're being harmed and there's lies and stuff like that, then I would back them up. I don't necessarily think I'd make a video. I've made videos, a couple, where I haven't agreed with other creators. That's nice to hear. I'm not the negativity. But yeah, as a creator, hey, Ricky. The last two videos. I didn't even see his last two videos. Oh, boy. My cat's snoring. No, that's all I'm going to stick to is I will make KJ videos. I've been doing it every day because there's just so much. Today she did 4 videos. I was like, holy crap. You saw the last 2 videos and you were kind of busy, so you didn't really understand what's going on. Yeah. So yeah, I will do videos on her. I just mean that I'm not going to go live. Like, how Wednesdays was always go live about KJ, and then I was doing it on the weekends too. I've taken that out. So now, from now on, if there's a video that comes out and I'm going to basically go critique it and get pissed off at her, I'll just make a video. So I'm not, because they're under half an hour. They're not long. You know what I mean? That's about all I can take. I just want to watch it quickly, say what I got to say, and get the hell out of there. Because if I do live streams about it, it goes on and on and on. My blood pressure gets too high and I just can't take it anymore. And I don't want to, yeah. So for now, like I will still do videos. Like every single day I'm putting out a KJ video. So I'll keep doing it as long as she's around. And the more I need to make people aware of her, I will. I just won't do lives. Now with lives like this, I'll do, because this is like more my thing. Yeah, they would make good friends. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Taking a break from KJ for me is no more going live. No way. What's my favorite cringiest KJ moment? You don't get a UTI from doing the hanky panky. Or her rod iron. Moron. Okay. Got a UTI from doing a sleep. Oh, there's a bunch. Please go check your Google. No, it's okay, Ricky. All intents and purposes. I'm gonna look at it right now. Great video. Let me see what this great video is. Oh, is this from the Mutton Girl? You guys want to watch it? I just don't want to watch it because I hate taking away people's views. It is true, though. I have watched it. Southern Mutton, that's her name. Yeah, in all intents and purposes. What a fucking idiot. Oh my god. There's so much. And every time, I swear to God, she makes up a word. Every time she does a video, and I'm like, can you guys please explain to me? Is that a word? Is that a word? Is that a word? Wait, what does that mean? Is that even a thing? Because she just makes shit up. I'm like, what the hell? I forgot about that intensive one though. That was good. Rod iron. I'll play a little bit of it. Hold on. And it's crazy too, because I watched it and it's so true. Every single time she gets that one in her, she's a complete and total bitch. I miss being on your lives. You don't want me to leave you. Okay, I won't leave. What's the other one? You can't think of it? There's so many. Just show my people on here. Whoops. Shit. Stop sharing. How about that? Oh, come on. Oh, I'm on this shit computer. I can't play it. I like you. Oh, you noob. Yeah, I can work on here. I know this stupid computer. Yeah, I remember that. You have to move everything. Oh, it probably was a vent bill. All right, I'll try it. Let's watch Katie Joy flip nice mirror. Oh, you son of a bitch, you better work. Oh wait, I gotta mute myself because I'll get a freaking echo. If it starts getting glitchy and everything, I just I won't play it. That music is dun, 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 just had me rolling. Oh, I hope it works. So Katie Joy can go from happy to horrid in a matter of minutes. Here are some examples of her flip-flop behavior during her live streams.
First of all, I just want to say that my life is like literally my job is to deliver you guys amazing content. And I love my job so much. And I absolutely love my followers and I love my subscribers and I love my members and I love every single person that tunes in and makes this.
Well, I do have to say something because remember how she's always bitching and complaining about how, I don't know, the Duggars love bomb people? What the fuck is this? Right? When is she delivered even good content? She's love bombing everyone right now. Sits there and blames the Duggar. Well, you must learn from the best then, because here we are. That is not you. That's a fake. Then watch, she gets nasty.
Community amazing. I am not going to retract that or be gaslit by any of you in this audience to say that I'm saying something incorrect. Hi. I'm actually in my basement right now, and I just turned on my fireplace, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the things that we were working on today. Literally, if you can't listen to what I'm talking about and be objective, and you have to get all like defensive about your choices, just leave this live. It has nothing to do with you. We're not talking about you. We're not dealing with you. Hey, you guys. So
And people are telling me this bitch has 278,000 subs. I don't fucking think so. Wow. She's the biggest piece of shit on the internet. She is. Like literally, KJ. She right, Ricky? Yes, 100 fucking percent. Takes a sip of wine. It's like, hi guys. I love you. Hold on. Stay on topic. If you guys are gonna have side conversations, I'm gonna have to leave. I'm turning comments off. Like, really? Right. 250,000 subs. Oh no, now get this. So when I lost my subs and other people lost their channels and their subs, get this. This fucking thing keeps climbing up and hasn't lost any. Right. Tell me that you're not buying subs. You really are. She is evil. I can't take her along. I just can't.
I shared a little bit of a clip of a video of a former leader of the IBLP, his youngest daughter. Okay, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go. All you guys can talk about is Jed and Katie, and you're taking away from this. Goodbye. Hi. Hello. Hi. He's dead. I didn't say it's not
Okay, I never said it was not guaranteed. I said usually. Do you guys just enjoy the being shitheads to me? I swear.
What is with this filter? Whew. That doesn't even. Don't pluck, Shanna. God, you're a dumbo. Hello, everyone.
Holy fucking eyebrows. She is such a nasty fucking evil mean bitch. Holy fuck. How does she have 278,000 subs and I'm losing them? I haven't even got to 3,000. Now I'm this big. I know I'm below. Now I'm at 2,200. I was at 2,000 like 800 and some. No, I've lost hundreds. I do not understand. What the fuck am I doing wrong? Right? A blow up doll gone wrong. Yeah, me too, Penny. This is fucked up. Yeah, she sounds drunk. How very unusual, right? Fucking eyebrows, man.
Hi. It's been a minute. How is everyone? Good? I hope you're good. I am not here to be anyone's friend. You can point out shit that people do that's wrong and seriously be truthful. I'm not here to play a biased fucking game where I placate someone to pitch their narrative. Hello, everyone.
Not only that, these videos that are put out here, she looks like shit. Who goes live looking like that? Like she just woke up and has a really bad hangover. Who the fuck does that? And again, she thinks she's pretty, right? Oh yeah, she does her makeup better than Toddy, guys. I don't know. I believe that they're being bought. Absolutely. Absolutely. You do not get 1,000 subs a day when you never got that before in your life just because you're saying, please sub to me. Please sub to me. Yeah, she's a fucking shark, guys. She's, yeah. I would have loved to got, like for the new year, I would have loved it if I got to 3,000, but I'll never make that now. That sucks. My views are down by hundreds. Everything. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Holy fucking eyebrows. Oh, did you see those things? What's going on with 7M? She thinks she's funny. I don't know what happened to my followers. Oh, YouTube happened. YouTube decided that they were going to take everyone's followers and channels down and followers channels down. So yeah, I've lost them all and I haven't got them back. Someone sent me a message and was like, oh, we're going to get them back today. That's funny because I lost even more. I don't know what's going on. I lost hundreds. I know. Let's see. Percy says she can't get a UTI from doing the what the fuck she call the hanky panky. Yeah, Benny lost her channel. Still. Yeah, because you're not on the right one. As for 7M, they're still suing her ass, but she thinks somehow thinks she's like entitled. We'll go with that. She's still posting about them, still egging them on. I say, sue that bitch for everything.
Hello. Hey, Carrie. I'm on my live stream and I'm just making a comment. Are you going to have a hissy fit? Like, why are you yelling in all caps, girl? Like, calm down. Don't come in my chat and like start yelling at me. How is everyone? I have my like new stand that I'm using. It has a little ring light on it. How is everyone? Hi.
Insinuating. No, Jana. God, you guys are so stupid. Jana, go back to your cult.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, guys. And she didn't defriend me, Cradle Catholic. That's not even a word. You should go back to high school. All you haters that have been sucking her ass realize that she lied. You can't go on your platform and be snippy and rude and crude or snide and nasty and then want to play the good girl and be Barbie that pretends like you are loving and sweet and kind when that's not behind the scenes who you are.
Holy fuck, she's psycho. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, like Benny is just a subscriber, but they took her. Everyone has a channel. It's just subs don't, make content, and she didn't make content, and yet they were calling her out for it and took it away. She was. I agree. Totally horrible. I want them to take everything. Calls her subs stupid. You need to go back to high school. I don't ever talk to you guys like that, and I never would. Ever. And yet I don't understand how this fucker has all these subs. I know she buys the majority of them, but still. She does think she's something. Oh, fucking right she does. That's why I cannot stand this woman. She has got to go. She can go live on Facebook and she can go live on Instagram. Oh, fucking right. You want to know why she doesn't? Because she's not monetized on either one. She got her monetization taken away, so she will not go live. Also, with her other stupid bullshit channel, Katie Joy Live, yeah, notice how she doesn't use that anymore? She got demonetized. YouTube is her only platform to make money. That's it. That's all. So I'm just waiting for her to have a shit fit. I really am. Because she'll lose that too. I don't know. I'm hoping 7M will ask them, take her down, get rid of that channel. I hate when she yawns like that too. And it's disgusting because it's every single live she goes on, every Instagram live, any Facebook live she went on, she would sit there and yawn. It's like, if you're tired, go to bed. Why do you got to sit there and get drunk, yell at people, and yawn the whole time? You done snoring? That's good. You're loud today, woman. Yeah, out of all people, she should have lost subs. And she didn't even lose one. Not one fucking sub. That doesn't make sense to me. I want 7M to take her out of Hawaiian with clothes. That's how I spell it. Yeah, I don't get that. So this miserable person sits here and gets to scream and yell at people. Come for people's jobs. Really? Yeah, she is a bully. The biggest bully out there. I just don't understand it, how everyone on YouTube either lost subscribers, lost their channels, or they gained subscribers. One or the other, right? And yet, no, nothing happened to her. Not one fucking thing out of all people. I'm pissed. I'm still waiting to hear back from YouTube. I want to know where my subs went. You don't just take them and then not give them back. 215, 2,215. Seriously? Bullshit. I have to go to the phone booth like really, really, really bad. So I'm going to get off of here. It was supposed to be just Haunted London, but that was fun. A little bit of Haunted London, a little bit of this this fucker. See, I swear, I only swear when it comes to her. Hundreds of subs and hundreds of hours. Oh yeah. 40,000 views in 28 days has been down to 13,000 views. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm hidden in the algorithm. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. It's pissing me off though. Yeah, she does get my blood boiling. Yeah. Kool-Aid Katie. There's Renelle's. I'll have to watch that after. All right, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna watch Renelle's video, I think. Actually, I have to make another video. Shit. All right, I gotta make a video. I already have one coming for tomorrow, but I don't know. Apparently, I'm freaking behind. So she made what, 4 videos today? Fuck, am I gonna catch up on that? I'm just gonna do 4, just all in one video, unless it's too long, then I won't. But LB said YouTube updated. Could that? Why am I able to? Oh, LB said YouTube updated. Could that have something to do with it? Yeah, something happened with YouTube. They did something. Me too. I hope to get it back. It was good seeing you too. Well, thank you guys for stopping in. I don't know. Tomorrow, I might go live tomorrow. I don't have anything planned. All right, you guys have a great night. Yeah, you were with me from day one, and thank you for that. I'm glad you weren't upset. All right, you guys have a good night. I might come back tomorrow for a live. I don't know. I want to do an alien one, another one, but I want to actually get some videos this time that that actually show proof or stories that I believe are, true. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Have a good night. Bye.